Hey yo, so I'm currently in the backyard and I wanted to show you guys around my mini urban garden. It's currently week 3. Basically, I guess 2 weeks after germination and I guess 3 weeks since I first sowed the first batch of seeds, which I guess 3 of them were placed here. But I just wanted to do an overall tour. Sorry for the birds. They're really, really loud. I don't know when they're going to stop, but I'm losing sunlight. Okay, so here's the greenhouse I set up on that first Friday. And then actually bought these Monday of this week. And I got bee balm, I got lavender, I got parsley that I'm going to eventually put in either in that batch over there and or right here. In the herbal batch. Put it back. Okay. And so I transplanted the corn. The corn was actually initially in this one. Um, and so I just decided, they're gonna get really big. They're really, really tall plants. This I know it's actually quite smaller than the suggested amount, but hopefully these will thrive. So far, they're well over a foot. This one could be about 18 inches or 24. Who knows? I could be wrong. But they grow very, very fast. This was actually 2 weeks after they first sprouted. So it's crazy. They say it's going to take between 2 and 3 months for it to be ready to harvest. And I'm really excited to see how it goes. Which means they're going to be ready in July, August. And I'm super, super hyped for that. Okay, so this one I actually did this week. I got these pots on Wednesday? No, sorry, Monday. Went to Lowe's and got these and had this rosemary. Finally retransplanted it into something that's probably more suited. And I know these tend to be very invasive. I have to say they're practically like weeds. I think especially the mint because their weeds grow really, really fast. And it's been less than a few days since I've transplanted them, and look at it already. Just kind of made its way out to the pot, and it's good I put it on the edge so it'll be able to grow, out instead of just in and surrounding the other ones. If it does get to the point where the roots are really invasive, I'm gonna have to take it out and then put it into a separate pot by itself. But luckily at the moment it's still small, and I think we'll be okay for now. Yeah, so I guess the bushy ones. Yeah. And turns out I have 3 different types of basil in here. I have sweet basil, I have cinnamon basil, which I run really, really good. And then in the back I have purple basil, which I transplanted yesterday. All of these I did, I think I did this one on Wednesday, transplanted these on Wednesday, and that one on Friday. That one yesterday. And this one I think I did yesterday as well. And it's growing, looks okay. It's been struggling for a bit. I can't tell why, but it may have had something to do with a bug. I'm not sure. But yeah, so I have the basil, 3 types of basil in here. I also have the sage, but unfortunately, I don't know. I don't think the sage it's not doing so well whatsoever. I don't know if it's gonna make it, but I'll keep on trying. It has been hot for the past couple of days, so it's something that probably made it the way how it is. Whew, sorry, I think I saw a bug on me. Okay, so these are the beds that I ended up transplanting. All the squashes and the loopy ones, squashes, cucumbers. I'll get to the bed in a second, but basically these are why it's empty. This one I never filled up yet, but I will if I have to have a new batch of seeds very soon. And these are the radish. Um, yeah, so I planted these actually on a Saturday, the day after, I guess, was it the 15th or 16th or 17th? Yeah, but I planted those then, and this is how they look about 2 weeks after germination. And so far they're doing really well. I planted this the day before. I think maybe because I didn't add enough soil to fill up to the top where they can get maximum amount of sunlight. Why all of these haven't been growing the way they, just haven't been growing to the maximum potential as these, because these were those were planted a day later, and everything really is a larger ultimately. Okay, so here I have cilantro, and yeah, so only two grow, two grew. Had I known that I actually learned about this in at CSUN's garden, but it just kind of went over my head as I was planting these. And now next time when I have more batches of cilantro, I am going to do them in rows so it has the maximum amount of growth. Yeah, well, you live and you learn. And these are the tomato plants. I actually planted 3 right here, or so I thought, unless they somehow sprouted, or I added extra seeds. But yeah, these are they grew and they turned out to be really well. Once again, it's about 2 weeks after, well, actually now 3 weeks after I first planted them. And these are how they look. Oh yeah, and I have onions. I actually thought these were the cilantro for a while, but I had 4. Maybe I think this was the second one. I don't think it did too well, unfortunately. But this one is thriving right here. And this one I planted about 10 seeds of tomatoes. Only 3 really made it, but then I guess they really struggling, fortunately. But I have one, at least. My one spinach seed that made it. I'm happy for that. And let me see, on Wednesday I actually planted these. Let me see, I think I planted 9 marigolds, 6 lavender, and I think zinnia, Zinnia, planted I think 9 of those. You can just see the lines. And then just today I actually planted the California bluebell. I don't even know how much I planted. There was so many tiny little seeds, and some of them spilled, unfortunately. So I think there's gonna be more than anticipated. But I can, just pull them out if anything happens, and just maybe repot them or something. Yeah. So I went over these. I also went over those. Here though, I actually planted 3 sunflower seeds on Wednesday, and they grow very tall. I know this is gonna be really tall. I think they said it go up to like maybe 6 to 8 feet. So we'll see how that goes. And here, I almost forgot, I actually planted 5 chives, onions. And the reason why I did that is because I heard, from what I've researched, I think butterflies and bees especially love the flowers. So really, I would like to grow these for food purposes, but mostly towards attracting pollinators. So these plants can grow. And like the basil flower over there. But it's pretty essential to have some plants, flowers that pollinators really love. So at least they can pollinate it instead of you doing it yourself. And also the plants that really require some sort of pollination to grow fruits. Pretty important. Here I have three of the garden peas. Um, I guess they grow really large, um, really long and large. So I think they recommend that you space it out. But the thing is, I have this is a smaller area. I'm actually glad though I was able to buy beds in the first place, and also maybe bigger pots where if they just so need to be in their own space, I can easily do so and not have to worry about any other crops invading it, or bees becoming big invaders. Alright, so just want to show you over here. This is my other batch of pollinated plants. Since they're small, I'm gonna say that I'm just gonna have these in here. Worst case scenario, I just switch it out. Maybe have this one to itself and then put the longer plants together, alongside that one up there. But for now, I have lantana, which I heard that butterflies really, really like. If you definitely want to attract butterflies, this is definitely the plant to do it. And I have lavender, which the flowers haven't bloomed yet. Well, there is no flowers, but there will be soon. Just being patient. But yeah, I want to be able to put these up where the pollinators, bees and butterflies, can see it and don't have to do too much work. But so far that I've noticed is that I haven't, the butterflies just pass and go up. But back there on the other side, I planted a pomegranate tree about 6 years ago, and they certainly love that plant. So maybe, at least for the trees back there, won't need too much pollination, or at least self-pollination for me to do on my own. But yes, in other words, it's good to have, really necessary to have plants. Native plants are preferred, but to have pollinated plants, so you attract the locals. Yep. Okay, so here we are. Here are the beds. I know it's a lot. It really is a lot, but at least for the time being, this is what I'm going to have to deal with, because I don't have a lot of room whatsoever, and I just have to utilize the small amount of space that I have. So let's just see if I can make this work. Yeah, let's see. So over here I have these three are actually pumpkin. Hold on. No, sorry. These three are pumpkin. I forget the type, but I know they are the smaller pumpkin. I think 5 of these are, you see, this is the thing that's confusing me, because I planted zucchini and butternut squash, but it was really hard for me to tell which one is which, because as you can tell, they all of these in a way look very very much alike. So even in the pot is what kind of confused me, because the butternut squash is actually considered organic, while the other ones they're not considered organic, but they're more non-GMO. So here, I guess one of these have to be butternut squash, and one of these have to be zucchini. But we'll figure it out soon enough. But I'll just, I want you to get like a closer look on it, and somebody maybe tell me, or I'll figure it out. Once they actually start to sprout. These got really big, and I know for a fact that these will grow. They grow really fast. It's been 2 weeks since they first sprouted. And yeah, it's been 3 weeks since they first got planted. So I actually planted 2 summer squash on the middle. I know they require a lot of space in between, so I was gonna plant 3, but I'm like, okay, well, if I'm gonna grow something, I might as well just have something that's small. You know, I already have more than enough stuff growing, and plus, if they kind of grow in the middle, perhaps they won't have to fight their way in between, these. And if they do, I just push them off to the side. Maybe I'm also considering getting a trellis where they can grow up instead of growing down like the other ones on the edge. And that's why I planted them on the edge as well. These are cucumber plants. Planted 6. Only 5 of them survived, but that still gave it a really big chance of survival. Over 80% survive, and that's great. I'm happy for that. Yeah, and let's see. Over here is my second bed. I don't have a lot of stuff in it. Well, at least I have room because I obviously want to grow more stuff. I planted the tomatoes over here. But then I transferred it over here because I just wanted to space it out. Maybe not have to do everything so identical, but rather just to give like a little variation going on. So both of these are actually, I think they're called Summerland tomatoes. I always get mixed up between, Candyland tomatoes. I get mixed up between Summerland and Candyland. I don't know why. But yeah, these are practically the same, and they really grew. I actually bought these last Tuesday, which I think was the 28th, and already they're this big. They look like they may be ready to harvest something within the next month or so. And let me see. Over here I have the red bell pepper. Excited for that to grow. Maybe I should just start growing onions too, so I can have fajitas all the time. These are actually transplanted. I think on Tuesday, the day I got them. I just took this right here, the butter sauce, put it in here, and then I just squeezed it and then transplanted it in here. And so they're definitely growing. See a little part right here. That's exciting. And there was 3 of them that really thrived, but 2 of them didn't really make it so well. I may have to take them out sooner or later, but this is the one that definitely, one of the 2 that actually didn't really grow so well or sprouted as high as the other 3. Yeah, so here's the jalapenos. I got these recently and just planting them in. But the thing is, I guess at first they were kind of droopy and I wasn't sure they're gonna make it. But now it's up. You see, it's standing on its own. That's good news. Here I have strawberry. It's exciting. It's kind of growing out, and that's really what I wanted to. Is to give space to the other stuff. Worst case scenario, just kind of squeeze it back in or something. I squeeze it, but just give it a gentle pull so I can make it. Went over that. Alright, I think we got everything in the bed. And it was so loud. Give me 1 second. At least some decibels to go down. Okay, so here is, I think, the last plant I have so far. I always forget about is the raspberry. When I first got it, this was bent, and it was pretty sad because it's like, okay, well, is it gonna make it? But then, of course, stuff kind of grew on the side, and it kind of grew on its own. This it was also attached to, but then this part kind of broke off. But the good thing is that if it does break, that yeah, if you just leave it be and be very cautious, is that it actually grows back right here. So it's like it's almost as if it never happened. And I always like to compare that to the tomatoes. Not the tomatoes, but this strawberry plant, because I think this one also broke. But I think, and it is brown, but I don't see any flimsiness with it. So I think it's still being provided nutrients because it's still technically clinged on. It's just gonna be like that. It's just gonna stay like that for a very long time, basically. And yeah, so that is my little urban garden, and I'm glad you can join me on my journey. And I will see you all next week for week 4. This is exciting. Thank you for joining. See you guys later.